Sports Show, the Lacrosse Grand Finals this weekend, boys, the men and the women. So we thought if you're going to be in the Grand Final, you've got to be in the best to find out what's going to happen in the Grand Final. So Tony Watts, Craig Schicker, both experts in this area, good enough to join us. Thanks for coming in, fellas.
Gentlemen.
Glenelg Brighton, mate, they seem to have a dominance, don't they? Let's talk about the men first. We'll go with the men first. So either one of them has played in the last 16 years in the Grand Final.
Yeah, they've certainly been able to create some culture within those clubs and always seem to be at the pointy end of the year. So they're doing something right.
And they're not far away either when you think about it. Glenelg, and Brighton are down the road.
Yeah, almost neighbours, and that adds to the rivalry, right? They're,
spot on.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's like a derby. That's
It's always a physical game, and it's good to see.
Men and women.
Men and women, it's been very much dominant through the two, and the women's game sometimes there's a few more bruises than the men's.
Yeah. I've always been interested in lacrosse because I went to St Michael's and it's a big lacrosse school, and we had it from grade 4 right through, and the school has done very, very well. Is it far away from being an Olympic sport? Do you feel? I mean, it's so popular in America and other countries, and I sort of grew up with it because my cousin was a state champion of lacrosse, and I always thought, well, you got lots of sports in the Olympics, and I said, wow, how can lacrosse be part of it?
Yeah, good question. We're not far away, are we, Tony?
No. So we've just had the IOC World Championships in Birmingham. They've created what they call the Sixers game, which is what they're looking to go towards the Olympics with. That was in June, July this year.
Oh, brilliant.
And the women won a bronze medal, and the men finished 6th, I think. But it's sort of one of those games like the rugby sevens we're creating at the moment.
Yeah.
We haven't actually played it, but 2028 they're talking Los Angeles fully fledged Olympic medal sport.
Is this like a T20 sort of thing?
Almost, a hybrid type game. Yeah, so it's based on the basketball concept really, rather than score a goal, stop, restart. It's score a goal, out to the side, play on. So it's a real up and down basketball-ish, I guess you could say, but certainly a hybrid game.
That'll make it quick, that will.
It will, you're right.
So at least it's not with so many sticks around, though.
Yeah, so 6-a-side rather than the 10, and 8-minute quarters instead of 15. So it's and 30-second shot clocks.
So do we adapt to that now? Do we start doing? Are we doing this now?
We are. It's only just started worldwide. There's, what do we have? Just inducted 2 more countries, so 72 member countries throughout the world now. So lacrosse is growing, and this sport is what's going to take us probably to the Olympic Games.
Heard it first on Channel 44.
That's right.
SA Sports Show.
Okay, let's go back to Brighton and Glenelg. We'll get back to the Olympics in a little bit of time. Brighton have beaten Glenelg twice this year. Is it going to be any different in the final?
Yeah, I believe so. I think COVID's played a big part this year as well, with players being out in those games, and Brighton won by 2 goals and they won by a goal the first time. This team's really gelled together now. I think Glenelg, the first time on the weekend that they actually got their offence right. So, I mean, I'm always one for a golden goal, but just to get the crowd excited.
Not for me. I think Brighton will be too strong. The week off will play
a bit of Biffo
into
on
itself.
There's always that. The great thing about Chicks and I is, we have our mindsets, don't we?
Yeah, I think a tough hit out on the weekend for Glenelg. I think that'll come into effect late in the game. So I think Brighton will run out winners.
Where are we playing?
So Woodville Lacrosse Club on Saturday, which is God's country.
It is.
As far as lacrosse goes, back to the clubs this year.
Yeah.
So we've been at Norwood Oval for the last couple of years, which has been great. But obviously with the upgrades there and the ground with the women's competition coming in, there's been some. But it's good to have it back to the clubs.
Let's have a chat about the women, mate. 2 o'clock, of course. They're up first. The men come on at 3:30. Brighton have played in every grand final except one since 1997. Can you believe
that? And they sacked their coach.
Yeah,
That's not a bad record. That's an unbelievable record.
So Brighton have got 5 Aussies on the team. Glenelg have got 4 Aussies on the team.
Yep.
It's a phenomenal competition for the women.
Yeah,
look, both super strong.
And being away in the World Cup this year, winning bronze medals in the women's in the Sixers, and they went down in golden goal in the Worlds. But Brighton, to be honest, I mean, they're a 10-goal better side.
10 goal.
That's what I believe.
They've got the current Australian coach Trish Adams down there doing wonderful things, and she has done for a long time. That Brighton unit is well structured. I think they're a class above.
So where are we sitting in the state league? Where are we sitting statewide? Like the South Australian Lacrosse team, we play in the state series.
We did this year. Finished third and third.
Unlucky, so in junior level, under 18, unlucky not to get the double. We won the under 18 boys.
Yep.
Unlucky not to get the under 18 girls. And then.
Well, first time since '99 for the boys.
That's right.
So.
Then, yeah.
And of course you've got you've had the World Cup under 21s in Ireland, wasn't it?
That's
and
right.
And Australia got fourth. So
Well, the man who was there himself, one of the Aussie coaches. So.
Yeah, so that was fantastic.
That must have been fantastic.
It was beating the old foe, England, who had our measure the last 2 World Cups. We beat the new force, on the rise, Japan. We beat Japan as well. And for the first time since maybe 20 odd years, we'd beaten the now known as the Haudenosaunee, so the Iroquois, or the American Indians. So we beat them for the first time in men's competition for 23 years, I think. So
Yeah, we're going places.
we did fall to them in the bronze medal match, unfortunately, but certainly took some giant strides
So
forward.
the bronze medal loss, would that be attributed to the coach or the assistant coach?
Of the coach.
The coach, because I understand the assistant coach was outstanding. Sorry, your role on the team again, Craig? Assistant coach.
Hey, Todd, you're going to San Diego.
Yeah,
You've got
so
the,
I'm part of the men's Australian team at the moment, of the squad, and World Championships next year in San Diego. So really looking forward to we're in the green and gold over there.
Yeah. How do you think we'll go?
Well, we haven't finished lower than 4th in the last 50 years.
It's so strong.
For a sport that is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, we're amateur in the world, to be 4th and not to have finished below that in the last 50 years, when you look at the money that's been put in by the Canadians and the Americans, and they're paid for, the trips are paid for, everything's paid for. They're like superstars over there. So we bat like Australians, well above our weight.
Yeah, it's a little bit, when you talk about the World Championships, the draw becomes really important on who you're crossing over, who you're playing.
Well, they've changed that this year. So they used to have the blue division where there were 6 teams.
Yep.
So they've gone to more a World Cup situation now where there's 4 groups of 4.
Yep.
So when they start to happen, you'd think that the blue division would be America, Canada, Haudenosaunee, Australia, and then you'd have England, Israel, Scotland, Japan. So, to finish top 2 in those crossover games. But yeah, sometimes you come up against a side that just puts a little bit of pressure on you.
Yeah, the Europeans have been magnificent, be it basketball, be it soccer, whatever, at manipulating the crossover. They're prepared to get there and then go, okay, let's have a look. No, we don't want to play them, so we'll drop this game, which is so un-Australian.
Yeah.
Un-Australian, but they'll work out that, okay, we can beat Canada, but we lose to America. Okay, so we'll lose this game, so we play here instead of there, and then they work their way through to the gold medal game.
You do see that, don't you?
Yeah, we might see more of that too.
It's funny, we just don't. It's un-Australian, isn't it?
It is.
We
go out and we give everything, and
Sounds like there's a bit of bad blood there, Phil.
Oh, mate, it's happened to me a couple of times.
I thought we'd come down on that.
Anyway, we don't want to get started on that. Take a lot of the players, the American college system or the Canadian college system, you touched on it, is brilliant.
Yep.
Do we see a lot of the Aussie guys and girls heading over to play there now and then come back for Australia?
Certainly starting to see a lot more of the guys and girls going over to these Div 1, Div 2, Div 3 and JCC colleges, which then bringing back that experience. And we've just had a few guys heading off at the moment.
There's certainly more pathways now available for the younger boys and girls to take that path. And good performance on the world stage. We just saw at the under 21s, probably 3, potentially 4 really good offers coming out of that. So yeah, it's happening more so now than it did 5-10 years ago. So there's definite pathways, Phil, for sure.
You know, when we sit in that and we're talking about top 4 finish in Australia, it's unbelievable. I don't think people understand how great it is that lacrosse is able to accomplish that. When you're basically talking about professional teams playing not even quite semi-professional teams. So if you put it in AFL standard, what you've got here, you've got hypothetically Power or Crows coming back and playing in the SANFL.
Absolutely.
That's what you're looking at. But to finish 4th now, your team's going to finish 4th in the AFL competition.
Yeah.
Are we seeing many of the American Canadian players starting to drift out to play in Australia?
They do come out. The last couple of years, obviously with COVID, sort of stopped a bit of that. But we've had a couple out this year for the North Eagles who hadn't been in a grand final since 85, and they missed out on the weekend. But there were 2 guys from then that just were next level.
But it's just so important to get that experience for a lot of the athletes to go to the colleges and go to the World Championships and bring all that back to Australia.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how we're going to build it up.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see that a lot now. And going forward next year, I think we're already as coaches looking at who we may bring over.
Coaches, commentators, you guys are doing it all. Hey, you need to get down to Woody Oval. It is going to be a spectacular weekend. The women are starting at 2 o'clock, the men on at 3:30. We've agreed then the women, Brighton.
Oh, by a country mile.
And the men potentially seeing you two guys going toe-to-toe in the country.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Fellas, appreciate your time. Hope it's a great weekend. Get down and watch the lacrosse. It is a spectacular game to watch if you haven't seen it. Stay with us.